Hey y'all, I wanted to pop in here to share some thoughts that I have had about Dr. Umar Johnson for a really long time. Dr. Umar Johnson is a talented orator, speaker, and historian, and he has the gift of gab when it comes to convincing people to donate to his various causes. However, in the last year or so, a lot of Dr. Umar's weaknesses have really come to the forefront, particularly as he attempts to get his academy off of the ground. Now, for me personally, I would love to see his idea come to fruition. However, I can say with a large degree of certainty that it's not going to happen. And the reason why it's not going to happen is for a very specific character flaw that Umar Johnson has. And that fact is that he does not have a wife. Now, when you think of the great pillars and leaders of our community, we can think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we can think of Malcolm X, we can think of Marcus Garvey, and so many others. Dr. Umar Johnson will never ascend to that level of greatness in our community because he does not have a wife. You see, having a wife shows that a man is stable. It shows that he is capable of building and sustaining a functioning, stable family. And this is where Umar Johnson has failed the test. I became aware of Umar Johnson's weakness in this area a few years back when it was exposed that he frequented strip clubs and that he had dealings with an exotic dancer. Now, we're all human and we understand that we all have needs. So it's not an issue about him having needs. The problem occurs in terms of how he has gone about getting those needs met. Instead of finding one woman who represents his vision and settling down with her, pouring knowledge into her, cultivating her, and building a functioning family with her, Umar Johnson has chosen to live the life of a Rolling Stone. You remember that song? Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. That's Dr. Umar Johnson. In every video that I see of him that he posts himself, he is in a car, he is in front of a tree, he is walking in random locations, he's never at home. You see, because a wife makes a home, a woman makes a home, a woman turns a house into a home. You see, if Umar Johnson really had the capability to bring this plan to fruition, you would have seen evidence of it in his personal relationships with a woman. A man sees a woman like he sees a plot of land. A man sees a plot of land and he cultivates it. He develops it. He plants seeds in it. He watches it grow with patience. He watches it develop in its fullness. He tends to it. He protects it. He guards it with his life. And then one day that land is able to deliver food and nourishment to that man. It is the same with a woman. A man takes a woman and she may or may not be developed to her full potential. And he pours into her love, security, protection, strength, provision, providing. And he pours into that woman and he protects that woman until that woman is able to fully blossom and deliver him a family. You see, if Umar Johnson was as talented at building as he is at talking, he would have been able to cultivate that conscious stripper. He would have been able to cultivate that woman and bring her off of the pole. He would have been able to cultivate that woman and have her cover up her body and begin to share with other women what her husband would have been teaching her. Umar Johnson does not have the capability of building up a woman. He does not have the capability of building a functioning household. And if a man cannot lead one household, then a man cannot lead an entire community, nation, country, or anything else. Study after study has proven that married men make more money, are promoted at faster and higher levels, and are considered to be more trustworthy and more credible than single men, and with good reason. Married men have had to put in work. They've had to stay in a house with one woman. They've had to budget their money. They've had to figure out how to make that mortgage. They've shown they can stand the test of time. Umar Johnson has proven none of this. Umar Johnson gets his bread as a single man on a day-to-day basis. Umar Johnson is waiting on his next donation. He's waiting on his next Instagram live. He's waiting on his next PayPal to come through, and then he'll get his bread. And there's nothing wrong with that. Men tend to be more adventurous than women. Men tend to be okay living an unstable life. But that's what I'm saying. That will not translate into building a successful school, nor ascending into the upper levels of leadership that are required at this time. Umar Johnson is incredibly talented, and it is so unfortunate that we will never see the full magnitude of his talent come to fruition because of this character flaw. Umar Johnson has not been able to develop a single woman that he has had a relationship with. Ask yourself why. What is missing from this man's character that he is unable to take a woman like Betty and make her the first lady, a woman like Coretta, and make her the first lady? What is it that Umar Johnson is lacking? He's lacking patience. He's lacking stability. He's lacking the ability to plan for the long term. And I can tell you right now, for all of you who are donating your money to Dr. Umar Johnson, you may as well stop at this point, because that money will not be accounted for. Umar Johnson is a single bachelor, rolling from city to city, location to location. He's getting his food as he goes. He's getting his primary desires met as he goes. And he has no long-term vision that he will be able to cultivate. I wanted to see Umar succeed because I see where he's going with this. However, it has become painstakingly clear that Umar Johnson does not have the skill set. He may be a descendant of Frederick Douglass, but he is no Frederick Douglass. He may be an admirer of Dr. King, but he is no Dr. King. He may appreciate Brother Malcolm, but he is no Brother Malcolm. And all of this is because